When you play UCLA and Notre Dame on back-to-back weeks, is UCLA a trap game?
You are Locked On Trojans, your daily podcast on the USC Trojans. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Fight on, everyone. I'm your host, Mark Holkin, and thank you for making Locked On USC part of the Locked On Network your first listen every day. Whether you're watching the show on YouTube, I don't care where you download this podcast, wherever you do it, it's going to be free. I'm going to appreciate your support. And you can get into the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers, a bet, and you can get started with $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. It's not really a trap game. I'm kidding. USC might be looking ahead to next week when they take on their real rival, the one they actually respect. You know, when USC ends their season against Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish. So, look, I'm kidding. It's not playing UCLA is not a trap game. USC isn't looking past them. They've got some business to take care of. They remember the beatdown they absorbed last year at home, the Coliseum. Was it 38-20? Game where they looked like they didn't even want to be there. Anyways, over in Westwood, UCLA, they can't get caught looking past USC. When they don't finish the year playing USC, the Bruins usually finish the year playing Cal. Well, Cal's no longer in the pack. Well, they're not conference members anymore. So UCLA is going to be finishing the season against Fresno State. That's another team they'll end the season against. Well, the reason why UCLA might be looking past USC, Fresno State's beaten UCLA the last four times they've met. I mean, imagine USC losing to a state school 4 times in a row. Wait, never mind. That happened. I mean, how much did that 8-game streak affect your life? I mean, it made me sick. So maybe a very sick USC team, locker room that's been ravaged by the flu all week, maybe they'll catch UCLA looking ahead. I'm kidding. I don't think they will be, but just trying to lighten the mood here, end of the week before we get into the game this Saturday. Like I said, the flu has been kind of kicking USC's butt this week. And we're going to see how that affects them once it's time to kick the ball off. I don't really think it's going to make a big difference. These guys usually suck it up. And I don't know what it is, but when you're sick, you usually play better. I mean, last week against Nebraska, Woody Marks, he had the flu. 19 carries, 146 yards. I hope he has the flu this week if he's going to play like that. What's at stake is the victory bell, the trophy that the two teams play for. You know, the interesting thing is the victory bell hasn't been wearing the same thing too long. In the last 10 games between these two teams, USC is 6-4. So while, yes, it's great that they are on the winning side, 6-4 over the last 10, that's not good enough. Not in my book. I mean, you like your rivalries to be competitive, but I'm of the opinion that USC should win at least 70% of the time every decade. So for every 10 games, I need 7 wins. I don't care how bad of a year USC's having. A 7 out of every 10 is the minimum. 8 should be the standard. Right now, what have I told? Well, I don't have to tell you. This is Lincoln Riley's third game in the rivalry. He's 1-1. He won his first year. Last year wasn't that good. I'll say this. I don't think USC will fire Lincoln Riley if UCLA was to win this year, but he would probably be in a lot of trouble. I know with the fan base he would be. In fact, I probably wouldn't leave my house, or I'd make sure I had an armed escort walking through the USC's campus as he has to get ready for Notre Dame next week. Coach Riley going 1-2 in his first 3 years is not what his contract can afford. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, let me put this into perspective, just to kind of give you an idea what 1-2, where that lines you up in the pantheon of Trojan coaching history. He already has as many losses as Clay Helton had when he played UCLA as USC's head coach. Clay Helton was 5-1. Not bad, right? 5-1 versus UCLA. I know how John McKay would feel if he was alive to see Lincoln Riley go 1-2. Coach McKay said it best. There's nothing worse than losing to UCLA, nothing better than beating Notre Dame. Coach John Robinson, he was 5-2 in his first stint at USC's head coach. And both of those losses by a combined 4 points. His second time around, it wasn't so bueno, not so good. In fact, it was one of the reasons why I think he was let go after the 97 season. Can't go 1-4. You just can't. And again, that was during the streak. Just can't, but you can't be 0-4. Pete Carroll, when he was USC's head coach, he only lost one time to UCLA. And that was on some fluky play by a player that you never heard of before the game. Do you remember his name today? I do. I hate you, Eric McNeil. I don't really hate you, but you're on my, you're not going to get a Christmas card from me. Let's just put it that way. This year's game, I think, is going to come down to turnovers and whichever team is playing smart football. As I mentioned on yesterday's episode of Locked on USC. Penalties. That's about playing smart. UCLA makes a ton of mistakes. And they've been turning the ball over lately. So lately, redundant. Anyways, they've been turning the ball over with regularity. And that could be to their detriment this week. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game just because of the way things have been going this season for both teams. I mean, the Bruins barely, yes, I went there, scored 19 points per game. USC's defense, they only give up, 22 per game? 21 something? They're good. And how good? Just to remind everybody, last year, USC gave up, 35 points per contest on defense? So they're, a 2-touchdown, they've improved by 2 touchdowns this year. Thank you, Danton Lynn. Thank you, Coach Riley, for hiring Danton Lynn. I like what I see on the defensive side of the ball. But still, as great as that is, why is USC still 5-5? It's crazy, right? Anyways, this game will probably come down. It'll be a defensive battle, I believe. Turnovers, that'll be the deciding factor. Jaden Mayava, I think he's going to play good. I think he'll play well. However, this is his first taste of this rivalry, right? You have to hope that his aggressiveness doesn't force too many mistakes like last week. The numbers look good when you look at the stat line. You watch the game, you peel back the layers a little bit, you're like, all right, got away with a couple things here. So again, you don't want to take away his aggressiveness. You just don't want him to force too many issues, right? UCLA's quarterback, Ethan Garbers, he was good last year in the game. Well, he was efficient, 9 for 12, 200 yards. We're going to see whose run defense is the best. I know statistically UCLA is better. Are they going to be able to use their run game, and will that be enough to beat USC? Can Ethan Garbers beat USC through the air? Right now, USC, I believe, is a 4.5-point favorite. This is the over-under is 51.5. Yep. Where are you going? You going over or are you going under with this? You never know how to pick this game, USC UCLA. And it looks like it should be a low-scoring game. It turns into a high-scoring affair. I don't know. I think I'm going to go with the under. I'm going to go USC 30, UCLA 17. I think that's fair. And the reason why I'm going USC winning, well, one, because I can never pick against them against UCLA. But this is their last chance to win a road game in conference. Yeah, the last time they didn't win a game on the road all year, 1950. I wasn't around. Were you around? I wasn't. So beat UCLA this week. Get through the trap game. Get through the bear trap. And then kick the Leprechauns in their Lucky Charms next week and kill their playoff dreams. Now, all of a sudden, yeah, you're 7-5. The season didn't go exactly the way you want that you anticipated. However, you beat your two rivals. The sun is shining a little brighter. The air smells a little bit sweeter. And now you get to look forward to early signing day because you're now going into the recruiting early signing period with a ton of momentum. And then you're also waiting to find out where you're playing your bowl game. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. I mean, it is awesome. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less. It's that simple. On at least two players, and you've got a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long with Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in over 30 states, including those of you who live in California and Florida, Georgia, Texas. Now you too can use Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an insurance policy, so your lineup is always in play. So even if one of your players gets injured, check this out. If your player leaves in the first half and he doesn't return, Prize Picks is going to keep your lineup live. And Prize Picks puts their members first. So all withdrawals, they're fast, they're safe, they're secure. When your pick hits, you get your money in, 15 minutes. That's quick, right? Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE and get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. Prize Picks, run your game. If you had to pick your, top 5, top 10 USC UCLA games, and UCLA fan, if you're watching, you can participate. Chime in. Hit me up with a comment if you're watching on YouTube. It's going to help the show grow. And if you are watching, do not forget to subscribe. Smash that thumbs up. Hit that bell notification. Let's keep the show growing. You guys are doing a great job. Let's keep doing better. So if you had to pick, which ones are you picking? I got my list here. I'm going to go over a few games with you. And it's not really in any particular order. It's just the ones that really stand out. Ones that you say, you know what? Yeah, I hear you, Mark. Those are good games to choose. For me, the first one that always pops up, 2001. It's one of my all-time favorites. It was a shutout. Pete Carroll's first year, 27-0. You remember that year? USC lost a ton of, I think, every game by one score or less. Yeah, deja vu. We're here again. In that game, I think this is what makes it one of my all-time favorites. Antoine Simmons. He put an exclamation point on his Trojan career in that game. He made it. I don't know if you need to go research Antoine Simmons. He was on his deathbed. I'm not lying. This is not hyperbole. He almost died on the operating table. Anyways, he came back from that. And he had that awesome. He went between his legs 5-hole like you're a hockey goalie. And it was a pick six into the end zone. The best part, while he's high stepping it in, Brian Pulley Dixon, the UCLA wide receiver, he had no idea what was going on. All of a sudden he turned around and was like, oh, shoot, there goes Anton with the ball. And if you see the highlight on YouTube, you should go check it out. You might notice that USC was wearing the same throwback jersey in that game that they wore against Nebraska last week. So that game is always going to be up there for me. Another one, for personal sentimental reasons, I think this is the game that locked me into being a USC fan forever. 1977, I watched Frank Jordan kick the winning field goal. That was good enough. Yeah, that was good enough. That game was at the Coliseum. That was back when both teams wore their home jerseys as well. This is why they still do it, even though they play in different stadiums now. Back in the day, USC and UCLA played in the Coliseum. I love my shutouts, so I mentioned 2001. What about 2011? 50-0. That was kind of fun, right? 1988. Who remembers 1988? Kind of a good game. Both teams really good. That's when this rivalry is so much fun, because when you live in LA and both teams are good, you know people who go to both schools. You grew up with them. A lot of smack talk, a lot of trash talking. When both teams are just kind of mid, like they are right now, it doesn't have that juice. The players hopefully have the juice, but the fans are just like, all right, see you at the game. Well, anyways, 1988. USC was number two in the country. UCLA ranked number 6. Rodney Peete versus some guy named Troy Aikman. Remember him? Had a pretty good NFL career. Never beat USC. By the way, his parents named him Troy for a reason. It never came to fruition. Never happened. Started his career at Oklahoma, transferred to UCLA. 0-2 versus USC. Anyways, in that game, Rodney Peete rolled out of bed, had the measles, and helped USC to a 31-22 win. Fun game. USC leaned into their defense. I think it was like 21-9. What happened was USC had a few drives where they scored touchdowns. UCLA, they had to settle for field goals. And USC ran the ball really, really well in that game. Ended up holding on to win 31-22. Fun game. Fun game. Following week, not so fun. Anyways, we're talking about USC, UCLA right now. Like I said, USC used their run game and their defense to win that 1988 game. Sounds like a winning formula in 2024. Let's try it out. I don't know how old some of you are. I was born in 1967. So I wasn't, like I said, I was around to see the game, but I was wearing diapers. Me and Mom were really close. You catch my drift. Anyways, 1967. That is an iconic game between these two programs. Rose Bowl bid on the line, Heisman Trophy. USC, you had UCLA, I think, was number 1. USC was number 2. What was so special about this game? That was the game where O.J. Simpson has that iconic midfield cutback run near midfield, and then all of a sudden he's running into the end zone, gives USC the 21-20 lead. USC won that game. They'd go on to win the Rose Bowl against Indiana that year. Indiana's looking pretty strong this year. Anyways, Gary Beeman, UCLA's quarterback, won the Heisman. USC won the war. If you're not sure which run I'm talking about with O.J. Simpson, you might remember Reggie Bush's cutback run near midfield against Fresno State. Very, very similar runs. I mean, they were like, you're looking and go, whoa, I've seen that somewhere before. So again, I wasn't around to watch that game, but between the two schools, that's probably the most iconic game. 2 Heisman Trophy winners. Number 1, number 2. So much on the line in that game. And of course, USC won. What do you think about the 66-19 win that USC had? Yeah, that was fun. Fun game. Reggie Bush, Lendale White, they did whatever they wanted in that game. USC as a team did whatever they wanted in that team, in that game. Do you remember the last time these two teams played a tie? 1989. 10-10. 1999. You know what was special about this game? USC broke that freaking streak. Yeah, right there. Finally over. Ugh, I hated that streak. I mean, after that, had I had one more Bacardi and Coke, I probably was going to go Frank the Tank. One more Bacardi and Coke, and I'm doing the streaking. Anyways, USC leads the series 52-32 to 7 ties. There will never be another tie unless they change the rules. So USC, they're looking to go 53 wins against 32 losses after this weekend. Let's make it happen. Let me know, what games stand out to you? You remember, you've watched enough USC, UCLA, just like I have. Which games stand out the most? Let me know. Hit me up. Find the comment section. It's the holiday season, and that means it's the drinking season too. Hopefully, you're going to drink Z-Biotics first. Z-Biotics pre-alcohol probiotic drink is the world's first genetically engineered probiotics. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, it's not dehydration, that's to blame for your next rough day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme, and this breaks down that byproduct. It's really good for you. Just remember to make Z-Biotic your first drink of the night. Drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. Here's how easy it is to use. Step 1, drink Z-Biotics pre-alcohol. For best results, make pre-alcohol your first drink of the night. Step 2, drink responsibly. Pace yourself, hydrate yourself, and then get a good night's sleep. Step 3, wake up. You're going to feel great. Just go enjoy your day. Go to zbiotics.com/LockedOnCollege to learn. You can learn more there, and then you're going to get 15% off your first order when you use the code LockedOnCollege at checkout. Z-Biotics is backed with a 100% money-back guarantee. So if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, head to zbiotics.com/LockedOnCollege and use the code LockedOnCollege at checkout for 15% off. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers, you can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL, and you can do it all in one place. So now when you get that hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats. You want to see some live play-by-play on your phone? Dial it up. And you can do so much more than that. You can even place another bet. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right. You know why I'm excited. You know why I'm happy. It's the end of the week. It's Friday. It's time for the Friday Rant. This week, it's all about tribalism and not being able to see things objectively. I'm looking right at you, USC fan. Me, you. Okay. It's this whole dynamic of I'm going to be in this corner and I'm going to go stand in this corner. And no matter what evidence you show me, I'm not changing my mind. I'm still going that direction. Doesn't matter. Look, we can all be stubborn. I can be stubborn. I admit it. But at the same time, it gets to a point where you got to put the emotion down. Say, hey, you know what? Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it. Let me see what you see. And let me hear what you see. Let's see if we can meet in the middle, come to an agreement, right? Not enough of that going on today in life. So when it's happening, when it happens in sports, it's just a microcosm in life. But some of you people take this a little bit way too serious. I mean, way too seriously. Here's the perfect example. You got your Miller Moss camp, you've got your Jaden Mayava camp. Some of you have gone off the deep end. It's like if nobody agrees with you 100% of the time, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You have no idea what you're talking about. Just shut up. Some of you just, some people can't separate their feelings from a topic for whatever reason. Whatever that personal connection is. Take that deep breath, right? Coach Riley, look, he said it. He said, look, I had to take the emotion out of it when it came time to replace Miller. He looked at things objectively. All right, what's happening right now? Why do I have to make the move now? And he sat down and he explained to Miller. So now, Jaden Mayava, he's your starting quarterback. Guess what? Criticism comes with that. He's going to get critiqued. I mean, heaven forbid you point out that he was lucky on a few occasions. People look like, what are you talking about? Watch the game. Don't listen to just what I say. Over there on WeRSC.com, did you watch Inside the Trojan Huddle this week? You should. Really good show. Myself, Eric McKinney, Chris Arledge. We were all in agreement. Jaden's got a lot of potential. He can do things that Miller can't. And that bodes well for the future. However, Jaden got away with quite a few plays. And that's what Lincoln Riley was talking about, how you don't want to take away his aggressiveness, but you still want to make sure he's not forcing the issue. Jaden talked about that as well himself Wednesday after practice. He said, he was probably trying to do too much, and that's okay. As long as you recognize, you see it on film, you correct those mistakes. Look, it was his first game starting as a Trojan, but he's not a virgin. Okay? He started almost the entire year at UNLV. So again, no one's faulting him for being aggressive. Some of you hear that and are like, oh, get off his case. It was his first game. No. You're the starting quarterback at USC. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Everything that comes with it, you got to deal with it. Same thing when it comes to Lincoln Riley. Some of you see nothing wrong. Others, see where he needs to improve. I'm of the opinion he needs to hire an offensive coordinator to become a better head coach. Here's the thing. Everybody is entitled to an opinion, okay? But an opinion is not a fact. Some of you like to present it as, it's a fact. Look it up. 2 different definitions. Fact, opinion. Just because you say it doesn't make it fact. Tell you what, if you ever want to get a sense of what passion looks like, sounds like, see what tribalism really looks like, go check out a game thread over on WeRSC.com. Do it this week. If you're not at the USC UCLA game at the Rose Bowl, for whatever reason, hang out over there. Check out the game thread. Put on your big boy pants. Don't be shocked. Don't clutch pearls, because it can get pretty rough over there at times. Look, I've seen some really dumb stuff said. That's all I'm going to say. And drunk posting, I don't encourage it. Doesn't go away once it's on the internet. Can't make it go away. Just be careful. So again, when you're cheering this weekend, don't go all Lord of the Flies if someone disagrees with you. Don't rally the troops. Say, go get them. Doesn't work like that. We're all on the same team. Deal with it. Get along. We're all rooting for USC to win. All right. I will be back with a post-game reaction after this game, USC versus UCLA. It's going to be late. All right. Kickoff 7:30 p.m. Who knows what time this game ends? By the time the interviews are done, I'll probably be watching the sun come up by the time I'm done working. I don't care though. That's why I'm here. I love doing this. So until then, USC 30, UCLA 17. F UCLA, beat the Bruins. Everyone, until that next episode, you know what to do.